Securing your financial future with the Right Law Alliance. Hello, I'm Stuart, co-host of the podcast, Securing Your Financial Future with the Right Law Alliance. I'd like to introduce you guys to Angelyn Wright, the owner.
Hi, Stuart. It's good to be with you today. I am so glad that we are doing this podcast because I know that there are a lot of people out there who are going through hardships because of the coronavirus pandemic. And we want to be a resource for those folks who need some guidance during this time.
We're going to do a series of short podcasts for you guys dealing with financial hardship during COVID-19, and we hope the information shared is helpful to you. I'm going to ask 4 questions that I think would be helpful. If you guys listening have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Here's question 1. If I'm behind on my rent or mortgage, should I be concerned?
The answer to that question is definitely yes. Really, that's always the case. If you're behind on your rent or your mortgage, you should definitely always be concerned and start looking for actions you can take. But especially right now during this pandemic, and this time during the pandemic, we're going to talk about some protections that are going to expire. So really now is the time to make a plan, whether you want to stay in the home or your apartment, or you want to plan to leave in an orderly way. This is the time to make that plan. So yes, be concerned, but let that concern lead you to action.
There are guides for landlords to evict tenants. Are there resources available for tenants facing hardship?
There are resources, and you're exactly right. There are guides for landlords, and many of those guides right now are related to the protections that are provided to tenants. So what I mean by that, for example, is right now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has a national ban on evictions. Well, that's going to expire at the end of this year. And so just like we talked about making a plan, you want to know that those protections where landlords can't evict you, that's going to change after the first of the year. And so the resources for tenants could be talking to their own lawyer. They can reach out to legal aid. Many cities now have federal funds to help people make up past due rent and past due mortgages. So you can check with your city to see if they have a program for that. Some of those programs are administered through homeless organizations. So organizations that typically help the homeless, they are working with cities to get money from the city to the tenants who need it for their rent. So I would reach out to all of those organizations to see if there are funds available to help.
Oh, okay. Would you have any resources available on your site, or like a page that has these resources, or some resources?
We can put those resources on the site, but really it's going to depend on what state and city you live in. And even within the same state, different cities, different counties have different programs. Some have none. Some have lots of money available, either from the government or their private chambers of commerce. So while we can put resources on the website, the only way to know that the resources will apply to you and which ones will actually be available to you is to reach out to your city and your county.
When the eviction protection ends on December 31st, 2020, what will happen next?
What we really expect to happen next is a flood of landlords filing for evictions with the courts. So right now, even if a landlord were to try to file an eviction lawsuit with the court, most courts are not hearing those cases right now. But after the first of the year, once that ban on evictions expires and landlords can go forward with trying to evict tenants, we expect they will start filing eviction lawsuits and really flood the courts. So we think January, unless the government provides some extension of that protection or some new protection, in January, we're expecting to see a lot of people at risk of losing their rentals.
So if I'm evicted by my landlord, can they come after me for what I still owe them?
That's a good question. And it depends on a couple of different things. It depends on where you live. It depends on how they notified you of the eviction lawsuit. Did they just tack it up on your door, or did they actually do what's called personal service, where the sheriff or a process server hands you the papers for that lawsuit? But even if they have what's called a money judgment against you, where they can collect what you owed them, you can still deal with those kinds of judgments through various programs, like a bankruptcy. You can get rid of that debt through a bankruptcy. And if they didn't actually hand you the paper through a personal service, then you probably won't owe a money judgment.
Wow, that's good to hear. If someone wants to get in touch with you, Angelyn, what's the best way?
Well, there are several ways that folks can reach out to us. First, they can give us a call on the phone. We're at 404-373-9933. They can also contact us through our website, which is wrightbklaw.com. That's WRIGHTBKlaw.com. They can send us a message through the website, or they can chat with us online through the website. And we can help them just kind of think about what their options are and what might be the best option for them.
That's good info. Thank you guys for joining us for the podcast, Securing Your Financial Future with the Right Law Alliance. Look out for our next episode, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button so you can be notified when we come out with the next episode. So until then, take care and stay safe.